you know what? Let's go into our list because this taps into what we have decided to do for you guys is we are each going to list our top 5 things that will turn the tides of people hate watching stuff to people love watching stuff, or that's a rallying cry that like some of you can get behind in a positive way. And I'm going to tell you how, for one of these, how the negativity that I felt made me look for something positive. So we're going to get into that, but we have our top 5 lists prepared. Do you think we should just do that? Because I know that I know that I just said you need to hate in order to love again, but like, let's see what there is out there that you could even possibly love.
These are my 5 things I wrote down that if these happen, I'm back in, and I will definitely feel. I promise you, I will feel if these 5 things happen.
Okay, do you promise?
Yes, I will no longer be a sports nihilist. I will be back in, irrationally just yelling at my TV, good and bad. When good things are happening, I'm ecstatic. When bad things are happening, I'm crying.
I'm a little bummed that, Sir Thomas Lipton died, because if Shamrock 6-1, I know it would beat the Americans, but you'd be really excited about it.
That would be that is not on my list. I probably should have put it on the list.
It's not on mine either, but now that I think about it, if someone resurrected Shamrock 6 and someone in the UK finally beat the New York Yacht Club
with Thomas Lipton's ashes on board.
With in the little cricket urn.
The cricket, the ashes.
That's a deep cut. You listen to this podcast if you understood everything that we just said. Okay, so number 5, who's going first?
Whatever. I usually let you go first, but you decide this time who goes first.
I'll go first because this one's going to make you laugh because it has to do with something you sent me right before we recorded. Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woodley need to get married.
Okay. Well, how does that factor into his what if they get married and you're a Packers fan wanting Aaron Rodgers to come back, and you wake up tomorrow and you see a headline that Aaron Rodgers is married to Shailene Woodley, do you think that helps the chances of Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Packers or hurts the chances of Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Packers?
I actually have no idea because I was only thinking about myself when I wrote this one. I don't think Packers fans would care one way or another as long as Aaron Rodgers reports to minicamp. But for me, this and anyone else out there who's as obsessed with their relationship as I am, and I know you're out there, this is for fans of love. If this is a list about good things that need to happen, like whether you're a diehard Packers fan or not, like you would be a fan of this. Shailene Woodley recently gave an interview to Shape magazine, and she said, and I quote, "I have the perspective that I would have met Aaron in any context, any space and time, because I feel we were meant to be together."
Wow.
Also, she's very into astrology. I looked this up. She's a Scorpio. He's a Sagittarius. I looked up whether those signs are compatible. Turns out they are. And so fans of astrology will also be happy. And astrology is sports. Boom. There it is. What's your number 5, Mark Titus?
So women or men who believe in astrology, if you... this is a whole other tangent, but I don't understand astrology, and that like if Shailene figured out that Aaron was, I don't know, a Leo or something, is that one?
He's a Sagittarius, Mark. I just said that.
I'm saying if he wasn't a Sagittarius and he was a Leo and everything about the relationship is going well, but then Shailene is like, I can't be with a Leo. It'll never work.
I don't know.
Does she just walk away
Maybe.
at that point? Is that a red flag to astrology people?
I'm going to be honest. The only thing I know about astrology is what I Google. And I haven't Googled, should you leave your relationship if it says your signs aren't compatible? But I will look into that and I will get back to you.
We need to find an astrology expert that we can consult on this show.
Should we get an astrologer on the show?
We really should. We should like when there's a trade, like Damian Lillard goes to like Dallas or something, and it's Damian and Luka together. When that happens this offseason, we have to get an astrologist on here to be like, all right, so Luka is
a Cancer.
Oh my God. Are they going to play well together? Will they play well together?
Okay, we need to do this. That is our NBA free agency show. We will find an astrologer. We will get them on. We will have a list of all the things we want to know about, and then we'll have our answers.
We will do that. I put me down in if Aaron Rodgers gets married to Shailene Woodley, I think that's I think that might be good for Packers. He's
Well,
not
they'll
going
feel
back
like
to the
he's settled
Packers.
down.
Yeah, like I think he's in this frantic state right now where like everything is fun and let's just and when you get married, I don't think it's fun anymore. I think that's it. I think it just kind of like
All the married Packers fans are like, oh yeah, this guy's going back to work.
So I think date like he met this new girl. It's all fun and new and fresh, and they move in together way too quickly. But that's like exciting and oh my god, where's it going? And then you get married and everything simmers, and then he's like, what am I doing? I gotta go play football. Like he's not gonna leave her. They're obviously if they get married, they'll be married forever. We know that. We believe in love on this show, but. But the excitement, like, kind of, the temperature gets lowered, and then he's like, I'm going to go play football now.
And he's like, oh, man, I've read every Jeopardy book there is to read. I got to get back on the field.
I gotta go play football.
So that's my number 5.
All right. My number 5 is also football, but a different kind. It is football.
Football.
Number 5 on my list is the United States men's national team qualifies for the World Cup, which is not going to happen for a little while. I think World Cup qualifying starts in September. But watching the US-Mexico game where we beat Mexico and we won a trophy that didn't exist until we beat Mexico, it awoken something in me. It made me feel like we missed out on the last World Cup. You know this, Charlotte.
Yeah, it's super embarrassing.
We hit a big reset button on the path of the United States men's national team. We now have Christian Pulisic, who is he just won the Champions League with Chelsea. It was him individually. He was the only guy on the field for Chelsea, as we know.
It took a minute for me to like hear that and get the joke.
No one else won it. It was just him.
It was him.
And in all seriousness, at long last, I think the United States, and certainly in Pulisic, we have a world-class, I don't know, soccer fans will roll their eyes at that. Maybe he's not. We have a guy who's like very much an upper echelon player, right? We talked ourselves into Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey being that good, and Tim Howard, maybe is he that good? Maybe, I don't really know. It was fuzzy. Christian Pulisic, if Chelsea doesn't want him, literally every single soccer club in the world would want him. They would try to sign him. So that's in my lifetime, that's the first, probably ever, I would say then, the first United States soccer player we've ever had of that caliber. And with that, there's hope for the future, Charlotte. There's a lot of great young players, and I think when the United States, when the World Cup qualifying starts, and we are just an absolute wagon, just running the score up on all these, on Honduras, and I look up and it's 7-1. We destroyed Honduras and Panama. Like Christian Pulisic's taking his shirt off in Panama, giving the suck it sign to the Panama fan. We are back in a big way, and I will be so excited. But it doesn't start till September, so we got to wait a little bit.
Okay, so is Christian Pulisic lovable? Like, is he the hero America needs? Because I've heard counterpoints that he's a boring guy, a boring athlete to play.
First of all, did you see the penalty kick that he just ropes into the top corner? And what does he do to celebrate? He runs over to the Mexican fans, takes his shirt off, and as they're just throwing stuff, he's just like, suck it. Like, how was that boring? Boring would just be like kind of like kiss your fingers and then tap your chest and kiss your fingers and then point to the sky. Like that's boring. He didn't do that. He said, throw your bags of piss at me. I will take them on. I beat your team. Suck it. That's what he said.
I just wanted to rile you up a little bit. I just wanted to see some of that.
He's not boring.
Yeah, I just wanted to see you care about something, boring. Mark. See, it works. You're not a sports nihilist. You might think you are, but if you take the bait on Christian Pulisic that easily,
I know. I just gotta see. I can't wait for the World Cup qualifying.
There you go. Okay, he's
excited.
back, folks.
Back.
All right, love that one. My number 4 is tricky because we're recording the show on Wednesday. It comes out on Thursday. There's a chance that by the time you are hearing this is impossible. Hear me out. We need a Bruins-Islanders Game 7. It is currently, as of the time I'm saying this, it is Wednesday, and the Bruins are behind 3-2.
Yeah.
If they win, this is a must-win game tonight. If they do this and they force a Game 7, this will bring. First of all, what are the 2 best words in sports?
Game 7.
Okay, we did a whole thing on that, which we'll talk about on Monday. But Game 7s are what you live for as a sports fan in the playoffs, and this is great. me saying this right now is going to be either great for Bruins fans, because if we do this and there's a game 7, when this clip comes out, when you hear this, you are going to be like, yes, let's go. You know, Bruce Cassidy has said that Tuukka is good to go for Wednesday night. If you hear this and he made a bunch of saves and like he's ready to go for Thursday. Also, Bruce Cassidy like really riled up Bruins fans in a great way. I think he said, this is my take on it. We're playing a team that has a very well-respected management and coaching staff, but I think they sell a narrative over there that it's more like the New York Saints, not the New York Islanders, because he didn't like how those games were being called, which I love because, you know, Bruins fans are like, yes, finally, someone said it. Like, we're getting screwed. And Islanders fans are like, oh, you're such a poor loser that you have to blame it on the refs. And it's like, this is what sports are for. That is like a fan base rivalry that you can get behind. And if there is a game 7, Islanders fans are going to hear this, be like, Charlotte, you are such an idiot, and it is going to bring them so much joy. If there's a game 7, Bruins fans are going to be into it. And I also want to apologize. I've gotten a fair amount of people from Boston as I've been covering the NBA playoffs being like, how are you not watching the Bruins? Why are you not into this? They're very upset with me. I would like to apologize to my hometown team, to the fans of that team, to the people who wanted me to be in this with you. I wasn't, because part of my job is that I have to do the things that I'm told to do, which were basketball, and I got really into it and I got carried away. But the Bruins, I am in it from now on. We're going to game 7, and then we're going to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that is what I have to say about that.
It's definitely happening. What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst
Where do the Bruins fall?
I jinxed it. Anyone hearing this tomorrow and the Bruins lost, they're like, you son of a bitch. You just screwed them over.
Now that the Red Sox got rid of Mookie Betts, the Patriots got rid of Tom Brady, the Boston Celtics got rid of Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens-ish, where do the Bruins fall in the Boston sports hierarchy of those 4 teams?
Well, so the thing about the Bruins, Mark, is that I'm not sure people outside of Boston realize this. The Bruins are kind of like always the king of the city. And I know that sounds crazy to say when the Patriots were winning Super Bowls literally every year.
Are you just saying this because they're in the playoffs right now? And
no.
That's okay. All right. I'm just making sure.
Well, first of all, Boston needs another championship. We've gotten too unobnoxious. It's been, what, 2 years now? Since, you know, like, come on. It's time. Like, we need this Boston. If it's for the rest of the country, like, we're talking about hate watching. The rest of the country
definitely wants
like,
Boston to win another title. I agree. Yes. That's exactly.
They don't realize how much they need that to fuel their hatred until it happens. But listen, no, it's like, you know, it's like you go watch the Bees, like you go to a Bees game, you get on the tee and you go to the Garden. You know, I'm butchering a Boston accent, but like the most diehard group of fans, and even if it's not the biggest, people who care about the Boston Bruins care about the Boston Bruins in a way that I have seldom ever seen people care about another team.
Okay, let me phrase it this way. It's 2021, so this is the hypothetical I'm throwing at you is under present day circumstances. You get asked on a first date, and power rank going to those 4 games as a first date. Like, what would get you most excited? I don't know why I picked a first date. I was just like, I don't know.
Because you know why you picked a first date? Because like, regardless of whether you're into the guy or not, if he's taking you to a sports game, you're gonna.
Okay, so
it depends. Like, how good of a game does it have to be?
So he's like, I was thinking for a first date we could go to the Red Sox. We could go to Fenway. We could go to. You could have any 4 of those. Give me your power rankings of the 4 that you're like most excited about going.
Well, this is like
as
asking
it stands
me to choose
right
a
now.
favorite child.
As it stands right now. In 2021. I'm not saying like, okay, so Bruins is number 1?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, God, I love Fenway.
So you hate
Right, but the Bruins are in the playoffs right now.
You hate the Celtics. That's what we learned. Okay, very good.
Mac Jones and Cam Newton have to earn my love. I already love Cam. I think he was dealt a raw deal, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I
love, by the way, less about Boston, more about the New York Islanders. I love the idea of the New York Islanders. I haven't been paying much attention to hockey. Because to me, Long Island feels like the Midwest of the New York scene. Long Island is like...
I was on Long Island this weekend, and you can have a really nice setup on Long Island. You can have like a yard on Long Island the way you can have a yard in the Midwest that I really respect.
And the people seem like I feel like everyone in New York would look down on the people of Long Island, but like that's what makes them have a Midwestern vibe to me. I don't know.
People
I
of
don't
Long
know.
Island are salt of the earth, Mark. You are not
Exactly.
wrong. Like, you are not wrong.
And I bet if you ask people in Manhattan, like, what do you think about the people of Long Island? They're like, they're rednecks, maybe.
They're like
or
the Hamptons?
yeah, yeah.
They're like, I love those people.
The fact that the Islanders, they're like actually on Long Island, like Long Island proper. 'Cause
Nassau, baby.
Right? Like they're way out there. They're not they're not really by the city at all.
They
And I
used
feel
to
like-
play at Barclays, speaking of the Nets, and that didn't work out, so maybe the
Yeah.
stadium is cursed. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, no, that's what I mean is that like I think that it would be very disheartening if you had this team that quote unquote represents Long Island and they play in like Brooklyn or like they did, right? Like that sucks. So I love the idea of a franchise is like, yeah, we're New York, but we're like this part of New York. We're over here and we're like legitimately over here. We're not, it's not like some artificially manufactured deal like was kind of what the Nets did. That's kind of how the Nets.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the Islanders, but I also don't know anything about them other than just that like I like the name Islanders too, because like you hear the name Islanders, you don't picture like Long Island.
Don't picture Long
You
Island.
don't picture Long Island. You picture like the Hawaiian hockey team.
Yep. The Islanders coach won a Stanley Cup. The Islanders coach is Barry Trotz, I do believe. And he was a coach when the Caps won. So I think that there is hope for the Islanders, but this was not supposed to be about that.
But
Damn
enough
it.
about that. We're cheering for the Boston
The
Bruins,
Boston
is it?
Bruins. Yeah,
Is it the
actually,
Bruins?
one of my best friends from yes, Mark. No, it's the Boston Avalanche. One of my best friends from high school, her mom texted me and her a picture of me and my friend at a Bruins game and said, "Charlotte, I'm disappointed in you," because I was
no.
at the Nets game at the time, and I was
Oh,
like,
no.
"Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel so guilty about
Oh
this."
no.
So I gotta get back
That's
into
all
it.
right. That's all right. That's what happens. That's what sucks about basketball and hockey is like I would love hockey so much more if it wasn't on during
Can't we
basketball
stagger
season.
it somehow?
Stagger
Can't
it.
we make
Figure
the
it
seasons
out.
shorter? Like, can't hockey, let's put hockey like, okay, baseball is October. We go hockey October to January. Basketball is
Yeah.
February to May. Boom, load management. I solved it. You're welcome. Pay mid-market players more.
I think you just solved sports. I think
I
we're
did.
done
I
here.
just fixed sports.
I think that's it.
Remember how we
No.
joked about how we weren't going to fix sports? Sorry, I did it.
We just did it. Number 4 on my list, and this is a hat tip to our boss Michael Buckland because he threw this out there, and when we were discussing this idea, and I heard him say it, and I could not get it out of my head because I thought to myself, this would get the blood pumping through my veins in a way that very few other things could. And it is this, Charlotte. It is simply a video of Eldrick Woods just bombing drives on a driving range. And that's all I need. Gee, we don't need a promise that Tiger Woods is coming back, that he's entering his name in some tournament, that he's fully healthy. I don't need any of that because like honestly, I am just working off the assumption that Tiger Woods will never play competitive golf again based on his age and how bad the wreck he was in was. I don't necessarily need any of that right now. What I need is just like Tiger Woods is up walking and he's swinging a golf club and there's just like he's golfing with like Justin Thomas or something, and Justin Thomas just films a video of Tiger swinging a club and posts it on some social media, and I would go nuts. I would go absolutely. I think everybody would. I think everybody would go nuts. It would dominate the headlines, sports headlines for like 3 days.
I was going to say that would be a headline for a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm really glad you did this one. I was going to do this one, and then I hoped that you would do it, so I didn't do it. But ever since Buck said that, I too, like, I can picture it. Okay, here's what I picture when I picture that video potentially coming out. He's on a golf course. It's not entirely clear where it is, but it's a really wooded, green, lush course. The tee is on a hill, so you can see far into the distance, and there might be some sort of like bluish mountains, and it's very atmospheric, and it feels like it might be in the middle of nowhere, and there's no one else around, but you can hear, say, Justin Thomas's voice, or you can hear another golfer's voice as he hits it, but only see Tiger, and it is just this moment of zen and hope and resurrection. and I could not agree with you more.
I like your version.
Is that what you pictured?
I was thinking more like Justin Thomas is like on the hunt for Bigfoot, and he's like going through. There's like an element of suspense where you're not really sure where the video's going, and he's just like walking through woods or something, and then suddenly like pops out, and then like you just see like this figure off in the distance, and he's slowly walking in, and it's zooming in, and it's coming into more focus, and then you just see a shadowy figure hitting golf balls, and then it keeps zooming. I guess my idea is really dependent on Justin Thomas's cinematography skills.
I'm sorry, when did Justin Thomas become a DP, and also is this a horror movie? Is my question.
And then it zooms in, and it's Tiger Woods, and then he just bombs a drive, and he looks at the camera and he winks, and then the Nike logo appears because it was an ad the whole time.
Because Justin Thomas didn't film it. Because the iPhone's good, but it's not that good. Oh man! All right. Well, I like what you were thinking of. I think we're on the same page there.
Okay. All right.
My number 3, Mark, is if Fernando Tatis Jr. leads the league in both home runs and stolen bases.
Oh.
Because right now he is tied in the NL for both of those stats. He is tied with Ronald Acuna Jr. for the most home runs, and he is tied with Trey Turner for the most stolen bases. And the reason that this is so impressive, for those of you who might be wondering, is because if you hit a home run, you're not on the bases.
You can't steal bases if you hit home runs.
I don't know how much people know about baseball, but like if you hit a home run, you go around all the bases and then you're back on the bench. If you hit a single, you are on the base, which means you can steal a base. If you hit a double, it means you're on a base. You can hit a base, even if you hit a triple. The thing is, if you hit a single, a double, or a triple, you're not hitting a home run. So this means that you need. I know. I mean, I know I said there would not be many stats on this podcast in general, but
be sure to send in emails if you agree with what Charlotte just said. That was very controversial. I want to hear what the people think. If you hit a single, a double, or a triple, you're not hitting a home run. What do the people think? Do you guys agree, disagree? Be sure to write in peoplesportspodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, Mark, my point is that it is very hard to both lead the league. This means that basically every time Tatis gets up to bat, he's hitting a bomb or he's getting on base, and then he's stealing a base. Like
This is a great Charlotte Explained segment. I love this so much. The thing about 3-point field goal percentage is if the ball goes in, that's a make, and if it doesn't, it's a miss. So what you do is you take the makes, you divide it by the shot attempts. Now, so the more you make, the more. So I think like people always talk about Steph Curry's 3-point field goal percentage. What they're really saying, if you really think about it, is that he makes a lot of shots.
Every once in a while, I'm just like, how do I have a job? I'm like, who pays
Well, it's
me
funny
to do
because I know exactly what you're saying. I know the point that you're making. It was just like you were so passionate about like you the way you were saying it was like you had an epiphany. Like you're just like you're like I crunched the numbers this morning,
when I saw,
and you're never gonna believe what I figured out.
When I saw that he was leading, that he was tied for both of them. Okay, to put into perspective how hard it is to hit home runs and steal bases all the time. The last time someone led the league in both of these things, it was Chuck Klein in 1932 for the Philadelphia Phillies. And before that, hold on, I have this written down. It only happened 2 other times, and one of those times was Ty Cobb in 1909 and Jimmy Sheckard in 1903. Those were 2, ancient white guys who were just ripping cigs, and like the leagues weren't integrated, and everyone was awful, and that doesn't count.
That was pre-steroids, yes. Yeah. So it doesn't. They weren't real athletes yet. Yeah. I got you. I hear what you're saying. Yes.
That would be great for the world if he did that.
It would be. It's awesome. You know what? As I was hearing you say that, it works out perfectly that I just recently, like a few days ago, a buddy brought up to me that the 40-40 Club is a thing in, well, first of all, it's a real nightclub, is it not? Like in New York City or something?
Yeah, but, I've been, not to brag.
The 40-40 Club in baseball.
I went, hold on. Oh, I went because a VR company invited me to watch a basketball playoff game there because they were trying to get me to write about their VR headset. It was. I am not. I don't like.
What?
I'm not the. I don't go to clubs.
You should have just stopped at like, yeah, I've been to the 40/40 club.
No, I wanted to be honest with the people because no, because the people would hear that and be like, "There was a catch."
Oh, okay, all right.
There was a catch.
The 40/40 club in baseball is 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases, and I have known about this club that exists because I have thought that this is not a common thing. Obviously, like you wouldn't create a club if everyone's in it. But I was not aware, Charlotte, that this has only happened 4 times in the history of baseball.
No way.
That
I didn't know
guys hit 40 home runs and stolen 40 bases. I would have guessed it's happened like 70 times. Or I would have guessed it was on par with like no hitters or perfect games or something. It is not. It has happened 4 times in the history of baseball, and I think it was Barry Bonds has done it. Canseco, Alex Rodriguez, and Alfonso Soriano. He's kind of the oddball. Alfonso Soriano did it. That's only ever happened 4 times, and
Wow.
I just relearned that or like had that pop up into my purview recently, and then now you're bringing this up. So how about that?
Sorry,
Can Tatis do 40/40?
I'm just laughing because you just explained clubs to me. So you don't, clubs. You don't start a club if everyone can be in it.
If everyone can be in it, you
If everyone
can't.
can be in it.
You know that.
yeah,
hold
I
on.
know.
Is he on pace to what's his
Yes, he is on pace to do it. Well, for 40/40, I don't know.
40/40? Let me see here. So he's played
That's too much math.
45 games. He has 13 stolen bases. That's gonna be tough. And he's got 17 home. It's too much math. I crunched the numbers and I've decided that's too much math.
Yeah,
I'm
too
gonna
much
go ahead and
math.
not do that math.
We don't know. He could or he couldn't. Let's
Too
go
much
with
math.
he could because this is the optimistic part of the podcast.
There we go. All right. My number 3 on my list is the United States gymnastics, the women's gymnastics team winning gold in Tokyo this summer. That is, the more I think about it, I think the United States women's gymnastics team is the most important team that we have in this country at any level of any sport. I
agree with you.
The women's soccer team would argue they're more important. I would say you're wrong. I think the men's basketball team would say we win gold all the time too. We are very important. I would say, no, you're not. Shut up. That there is no more important team in this country than the United States gymnastics team. And this has been the case forever. And whether everyone else believes this or not, I'm speaking on behalf of this entire country. This is the most important team we have, and we need a gold medal in Tokyo. We need to beat basically China and Russia. Those seem to be the two. Because it's that's the other part about the Olympics is it's like always it's always our enemies who are good at stuff. It's always China and Russia. You know what I mean?
The communists.
Yeah. The one time I remember like the one like big matchup I remember where it was USA versus another country and there was a gold medal on the line and everyone was it was the 2010 and it wasn't an enemy. I mean, like it wasn't a political rival type deal. It was the 2010 hockey when USA played Canada. And that just felt weird. Like I remember getting worked up about it. And I was like, we got to beat Canada. But then the game was over. Canada beat us. And I was like, Canada's not too bad. But like if Russia would have beat us for the gold medal, I would have been flipping tables.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah, China.
Get out of here. So we have to. That's what makes I think the USA gymnastics team so important, though, is that like it always is Russia and China, isn't it? It's like us, Russia, and China, and we have to win. We must win. I don't know who's going to be somersaulting for us. I don't know who our Olympians are.
Simone Biles.
Will she be? She's too old, right?
I think so. No, I think she just competed because she had that amazing Simone Biles Olympics 2021.
She's not too old? I thought like, oh my God.
Well, women.
Simone is in.
Yeah,
Let's
she's
go.
in.
Oh my
Let's
God,
go. Come on.
That's all I needed. Now I'm ready.
I'm
Let's
glad
go.
you put her on your list because I almost put her on my list too because she recently I watched this like she has a routine where it's literally called the Biles like no one else can do this combination and she did that thing on the pommel horse. No, not the pommel horse. What's the springy one where you jump onto the thingy?
The vault.
Pole vault, not the pole vault.
That's just the vault.
Just the vault.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a lot of her highlights recently, and I'm so glad she's on there for you.
Yeah. Not well. I mean, the whole team. I need the team. I don't need Simone Biles to win a bunch of gold. I need the United States.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I like that you went team-wide because I
Yeah.
was only thinking Simone, and I like that you broadened it, and I'm with you, and we will be rooting for that. My number 2 is if Serena Williams wins another Grand Slam.
Okay.
because she's currently tied. She's at 23 Grand Slam titles. This is the most in the Open era, but this woman named Margaret Court before then, a long time ago, won 24. And I really want Serena to get to 24. I would love her to get to 25 so that she just like blows all the records out of the water. But I think that this country and sports fans would be so thrilled and would just rally around this in a way that there are few other things besides Tiger swinging a golf club. Like Serena winning a Grand Slam to me is on par with a video of Tiger swinging a golf club in the amount of buzz and like discussion and excitement that it would generate.
How long has it been since Serena's won one? That's the only thing I would say.
I think the Australian Open 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay, because I think part of what factors into this is we need the comeback, Like, I think Serena needs to not win for a while.
This would be enough of a comeback, though,
okay, yeah.
I think.
I think that has to factor into it, is that it's not enough for her to break the record. It's we need her to get close, feel like she's not going to do it, and then the comeback happens and she does it, and that makes it awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Her last major win was 2017 Australian Open.
That's long enough. Yeah, that's
Don't
long
you think?
enough. That's a good comeback then. Yeah,
Unless I just read that wrong. But I'm doing my best here. So it's whatever it is, it's enough of a comeback.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Don't call it a comeback.
It has been 4 years.
Yes, that is correct. It has been 4 years. 5 years.
It'll be 5 years. Wait,
that's
2017?
Yeah, it's 2021.
So what's 21
so
minus
4
17?
Years.
What the hell? Oh my god. Yikes. All right, number 2 for me.
Please go on.
Number 2 for me, I'll make it simple, the Little League World Series.
Okay.
It is quickly becoming the last bastion of true love of the game sports we have in this world, as Congress is at this moment arguing with itself over whether college athletes should be paid, and that is going to happen very soon. The college athletes are going to be paid, and as high school sports in this country are becoming monetized to an absurd level, that like high school games are on television and there are elite camps going on, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be. I'm just saying the money is trickling down to lower and lower levels, Charlotte, and you might find yourself wondering, where can I watch sports where the true love of the game still exists? Does it even exist anywhere? And I say yes. Every August in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the Little League World Series. I love it so much. I watch it every year. It is also like a massive sporting event, at least in my life, that didn't happen last year. No one talks about it. No one talks about how we lost the Little League World Series last year, and we did. And those kids will never get that opportunity back that missed out on it. Those 12-year-olds that cycle of kids. And I think the Little League World Series, it is tentatively scheduled to happen this year. I think it's going to happen in August, and I need that in my life. I need the Little League World Series. I need kids giving up dingers to other kids and then like high-fiving the kid as he's rounding the bases.
Yes. Oh
it's a
my
good hit,
God.
man. That's this dope grand slam you just hit off of me. And you're like,
oh my God.
You have to love it. And they sell hot dogs for $1. It's free to go to the games.
Are you kidding me? They have dollar dogs?
If you go to Williamsport, I've done this before. Tickets are free.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like a Little League game. Yeah, that's why I said it's the last place on earth where they're like, we love the game of baseball. We just like.
Can we go?
We can go. It's free. The hot dogs are like $1. I think they probably still do the deal where like if you're a kid and you bring a foul ball to the concession stand, they'll give you a free popcorn. Like they do that at the Little League World Series. So
what?
It's great. I can't.
This is my pitch. This is the cheapest sporting event that our bosses could send us to. Because you wouldn't have to feed us. We wouldn't need a food stipend. We'd just eat dollar hot dogs.
We would just catch foul balls and run.
Yeah, and go to give them for fun. The Little League World Series intros are one of the greatest things in all of sports. Where it's a chubby kid who comes up and he's like, "My name's Buzz, and I think farts are funny."
Yeah,
like is their intro,
And they do also their tidbits when they're up to bat, and it's like favorite book, and then it says I don't read. And it's a kid with a mullet, and he's got his ears pierced or something.
And you're like, that checks out.
I love it. I love it.
Jimmy doesn't read. Okay, I'm about to do something that I think our producers are going to get very upset with me for, because we have graphics that are already made. It was going to be that the Suns go to the finals, because I am a Suns fan now. I am extremely excited. You know, I'll still talk about it, so the graphic still works. I'm extremely excited about this team. I love that Chris Paul is finally on a team where he kind of, you know, it's a younger team. He wants to be the disciplinarian or like the guy who provides structure. He's finally on a team where these guys respect that and they want that. Like Mikal Bridges said that, you know, when CP's in the locker room early, it makes me want to be in the locker room early. Devin Booker went to a Chris Paul camp when he was growing up. He is now a bona fide superstar. This is Chris Paul's best chance to get to the finals. I want him to play in the finals. I love him. I love his State Farm commercials. I know that has nothing to do with basketball, but I think he's very funny. I just love the Phoenix Suns. They are a small market team. They haven't won a championship either. Like, what more could you want to root for, especially if they end up going against the Brooklyn Nets, who are, as we've talked about, the villains of the league. This is the stuff of sports movies. And coached by
Suns legend Steve Nash.
Yes. Like, what could be more? And then you have Monty Williams, who's like the most likable coach in the league. Like, I think all of this is the matchup that I want. This is the narrative that I want. You've got the protagonist, you've got the antagonist, you've got the narrative, you've got the stakes are high, people will watch. It's not a boring game. I'm all in. That is my number one. My other number one is the Westminster Dog Show, which is happening this weekend on Fox Sports, and I'm going to be there. And they're even putting me on television, Mark.
What the hell? Which
is hilarious because it's me and I say things like, if you hit a home run, it means you didn't hit a single.
It means you did not hit a single. I am not happy for you at all because I am just jealous. I'm going to be honest.
If it makes you feel better, I'll go try to find the golden retriever.
Please. I want a picture of you with the gold. Did you see, by the way, speaking of dogs, that Butler Blue is going to be in a Netflix documentary about like dogs and...
Not to brag, I need to say anything else? Did Butler Blue DM that to me himself personally? Yeah, he did, Mark.
I love that every time there's like a dog documentary made, the people putting together try to come up with an idea of why they're doing it, and it always like falls apart like halfway. They're like, this summer we're gonna do a little docu-series on dogs that work on... you know, just like dogs that kind of, who cares? You know, like as you're pitching it,
right.
Yeah, just like dogs that do we really need it? Who cares? It's just gonna be a lot of footage of dogs. Just watch it.
Like everyone's gonna watch this. We don't have to put any legwork into storyboarding it. It's gonna be dog after dog after dog, and that's how I feel about the dog show. I've never been more excited for anything in my life, and I think that will save sports. Honestly,
will you please do a story on the blatant breedism, if you will, that golden retrievers face as quite possibly one of the more oppressed dog groups in these competitions. There is a long history of golden retrievers being disrespected. They have never once won like really any dog show, even though they are the goodest of boys and girls. Yeah, they never win any. I watch all these things. I get duped into watching them every single time. The golden retriever comes up. Me and Moses are going nuts. Literally barking at the TV, cheering on the Goldens, and then the guys like calling the dog show all the time are like, it's the gold. Look at the golden retriever. Everybody at home. There's the most popular dogs, and it's like the Goldens in the labs. That's what everybody has at home. They're the best dogs. Oh, everyone loves them. They are the best. Anyway, zero chance of winning our competition. Let's go over to the poodle. It's so stupid.
My favorite thing about the dog show, what I love about the dog show so much, is that you have teams. You root for dog. If you have a dog, like I have a German Shepherd.
Poodles. The poodles are the Nets of the dog show. Nobody is a poodle fan. Even if you have a poodle, you're like, I kind of hate my dog. It's kind of like a cat. I got a cat of a dog over here. Like nobody's cheering for poodles, and the poodles win every single damn show. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And the golden retrievers are like, I don't know, the Milwaukee Bucks. Like they do it the right way. They build from the ground up. They're wholesome. They're fun. They're easy to root for, and they have no shot ever. They'll never have a shot ever, because the system is rigged.
The dog show is absolutely rigged for money. Ayesha Curry.
Oh my God.
Look, I relate to that, Mark. I'm a German Shepherd fan, but like that's exactly what you're saying. Like people have their dogs as they have their teams, and if you have a German Shepherd, when that dog won in 2017, I remember.
Yeah.
And so like that would still be a comeback for us. But then Goldens have never won a championship, so we're
I'm
out here.
gonna put that. I'm gonna put that at my number one. A golden retriever wins a dog show. Literally any dog show. That's my number one. Sports are back when a golden retriever. No, my real number one. Buckle up, Charlotte. My real number one is an idea that I've thrown out on this show before, and I've thought about it more, and I realized that if this happened, this would just make it move for me in a way that it has not in a very long time. I would feel alive. I would feel young again. If on July 4th there's still time. It is. We have to hurry, but there still might be time. If on July 4th. Travis Pastrana and David Blaine jumped out of an airplane at the exact same time and looked each other in the eye and see who could fall the farthest before they pull the parachute. This is what we need so badly. I will do anything to make this happen. I will pay any amount of money. Jim Cunningham, if you come over for that, I will buy the pay-per-view gladly. I will try to stream it. I will download whatever app I need to download. This would be the greatest television event the world has ever seen, and I want to see it so badly. And I want it. July 4th makes a lot of sense. Is that you watch the hot dog eating contest in the afternoon, and then right around like 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern, over the Grand Canyon, Travis Pastrana and David Blaine jump out at the same time and lock eyes, and they both have their hands on a parachute. And they play a game of skydive chicken.
I'm legit crying and laughing so hard. That is, first of all, that's such a deep cut. And I think it made me laugh this hard the first time you said it, but it's even funnier the second time. I should have known that your number one would be something like this. And I feel like I got outlisted because this is so
It's such a good idea.
It's so good. This is what the world needs, except that it's like the darkest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It is like in my head it would be riveting, but what would actually happen is they would both die because neither one of them would pull the parachute, and then like
it would be horrible. It would be so awful. But assuming that they both pull the parachute, this is an amazing idea.
It's so good.
Oh man, that is.
I don't know. I want to make this happen. Like it's to the point now. The more I think about it, I would rather make this happen than Rosenbaum. I'm sorry to say.
Okay, what about Brad Stevens to IU? You got to choose. You can meme 3 things into existence.
That's next week's list. Next week's top 5. It's like, what
does Mark? It's not even my top 5. What I want to be. It's Mark's top. We each list Mark's top 5 things he wants to meme into. Are you patting Moses right now?
I am. Yeah. You can hear that I was talking about golden retrievers.
All right. Well,
fun show. I think we did it. I think we ended on a positive note. I think that's important. Just have some of these things happen. They're going to happen. These things are going to happen. I want the people to know that it was your idea to think of good things that could happen. I do have the reputation as being the
curmudgeon, and you're not a curmudgeon.
I'm not.
Except when you say you're a sports stylist.
I'm a sports
and you forgot how to feel.
And the Brooklyn Nets represent everything wrong with professional sports.
Hey pals, thanks for watching the People Sports Podcast YouTube channel. For more of mine and Mark's very weird rabbit holes, stick around, watch more. You can subscribe, smash that subscribe button. You know you want to. We're going to give you all the weird stuff we possibly can.